Hi, my name is Hunter Riley, and I am here to persuade you guys why we need to support more engineers and get more people in the engineering programs at different colleges. So, say you're going on a road trip, driving down the road, and boom, you look in front of you, and there's signs that say road work ahead. And you know it's been there forever because you travel that road a lot, and you're just sitting there like, wow, I really wish there was more people to work on this. And that job is a civil engineer. And although there are many different types of engineers, um, we need more just in general. So, an engineer is someone who puts their knowledge of math and science together to make new products, new inventions, new everything, depending on what field you're in. So, engineers, us as a population relies on engineers to build roads, buildings, literally everything that we do. Another point would be lowering tuition for engineers because a lot of engineers go into debt. There are multiple advantages of being engineers, and I will talk about these topics in the speech. So, Collier with top university says that there are over 30 types of engineering degrees that you can apply for, such as civil engineering, biomedical engineering, aerospace engineering, just whatever fits your topic of liking, then there's probably an engineering degree for it. So engineers are very easily employed because of how much of a need they are in society, because not a lot of people feel comfortable being an engineer. The healthcare, so biomedical engineers would be considered the healthcare engineers, and that is probably the highest need of engineers right now, just because of all the new types of medicine that's what would that word be? Being discovered and stuff like that. So the healthcare engineers are there to put all these new techniques and stuff together and make newer things to help everyone in society. If you ever go to a hospital, the healthcare engineers are the people who put together all the machines. They come up with the vaccines. So we definitely need more. Nearly 20% of all Fortune 500 CEOs have engineering degrees, which means that the engineering degree and like that field of study would help you in the long term for if you would want to like start your own business, if you want to not have to rely on waiting paycheck to paycheck, like spending paycheck to paycheck, relying on that next paycheck to keep you afloat. Because most engineers make 65% more than the average scientist. But if you to be an engineer, you work with science and math, so that it's pretty much being a scientist just on steroids. So being an engineer and all the experience you get from being one leads a lot of people to creating their own business and eventually expanding and making super big businesses and having a lot of money. So that leads me to my next topic, which would be the lowering costs for more engineers in colleges. That way, more students feel like they don't have to worry about going into debt due to being an engineer. So, being an engineer, typically, to go to college for it, typically costs over $1,000 more than it would to major in liberal arts or like just other. On average, it's about $1,000 more than most other fields of study. So that just means that if the government were to lower costs for being an engineering student, then more people would be willing to go and enter the program. Webley with Nation Times says that lowering the costs for students to join the field of study will only encourage many more to not only stick with engineering, but also switch from different um, fields of study into engineering. She also said that a lot of students are more likely to start in the engineering program and then eventually between their freshman first semester and their sophomore first semester, they're more likely to switch out of the engineering program because of the cost it is to be in the program. The future of so if if the amount of engineers that we need were to ever happen and come into the programs and graduate and all that stuff, all the fields of study would only increase with how they work and how productive they are. For example, the civil engineering field of study, which works on like roads, buildings, stuff like that, would eventually result in shorter time for roadworks, shorter times for new buildings to be built, and shorter times for big franchise companies, say like an Amazon like shipping center, stuff like that. It means less time for those buildings to be built that would end up helping the community. On the medical side, so the biomedical engineers, that would make hospital visits shorter. It would make all the machines more cost efficient. It would make the vaccines more effective, stuff like that. Without the engineers that we have today, we would not have as many buildings as we would have. We would not have the computer technology, the medical technology. We wouldn't have anything like that. So in conclusion, lowering the costs of being an engineer can only provide more ways for people to join the program and not be so scared of the program. All the advantages, such as being able to take the experience from your degree and making your own business out of it, making more money than most degrees, and for the main reason that without the engineers, we wouldn't have the technology that we have today. Thank you.